Hello, fight fans. What up, UFC fans? What up, Beefy Boys viewers? Appreciate everybody watching right now. Take a second and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. That really helps us out. Like a few videos, leave a few comments. That really helps us boys out, man. We really appreciate everybody that does that. Cheers. Shout out to Howlerhead, official whiskey of the Beefy Boys Breakdown, and the only thing you're going to find in my cup from now on. Here's my partner Harrison right now.
What up?
What is up, man? It's episode 96 of the Beefy Boys Breakdown. We're going over UFC Fight Night, Ortega versus Rodriguez. And, I was excited for this card. If you remember, after the Volk-Ortega fight, we spent a good 15 minutes talking about what the hell do you do with Ortega next. And I said from day one, I was pounding the desk for the Rodriguez matchup. And I got my wish. Now, we'll get to how that is.
Did you, though?
No, I got blue balled is what I got. But what I'm getting at is your boy here, call me McMahon over here, Mick Rossetti.
Rossetti.
I matched that one up from the jump, man. I definitely thought they nailed the matchmaking there. But starting off the card, also real quick, we'll get to our giveaway real quick. Giving away this Nate Diaz officially licensed trading card. All you got to do is subscribe to Beefy Boys Breakdown and leave a comment on any Beefy Boys video that with your Twitter handle, and that's mainly just so we can reach you, so you can win your card and I can get your mailing information. So yeah, all you got to do is go subscribe, leave a comment with your Twitter handle, or if you don't have Twitter, IG, whatever. I really don't care.
Facebook messages,
Yeah, seriously, just we want to be able to contact you. And then, you can win this Nate Diaz card or another card of your choosing. I got plenty of cards to give away.
There's some you can't choose, though. I'll just say it.
Oh, yeah. If you want my Shemaev rookie, you can fuck all the way.
Yeah,
but
the O'Malley green one? No way.
I got some cool stuff, but I do got some cool stuff that I'd be willing to part with to a subscriber, for sure, 100%. I'll make it worth your time. It takes a few seconds. Go click that subscribe button. You can win a free card, a little UFC, a little collectible item. Now, we're getting to this main card, and it starts off with a sick fight that I've been looking forward to, man. We got Lauren
Me too.
Murphy.
And I didn't know how to feel about this fight. I think the whole week, me and you talking about it, I mean, you kind of sold me more on Murphy the more we talked about it.
Well,
now, granted,
I had a journey. A journey.
I was going to say me too. Yeah,
my knee-jerk reaction was loving Tate, easily, even willing to eat the minus 200. And I went from willing to eat the minus 200 to being like, oh no, Murphy would get in the plus money's the move. It was a total journey that just took a little bit of research and obviously a little MMA math and obviously it's always a little bit of luck too, or anything can happen with got two top flight, world class fighters in there. But yeah, we got lucky Lauren Murphy, number 3. I mean, her last fight was a loss to Shevchenko, which she did look pretty goddamn awful in. But you got to have the caveat of how many fighters has Shevchenko looked really awful. I mean, all the best fighters, pretty much, for, a long list of future Hall of Famers.
So before we get into the breakdown of this fight, I would love to ask you a question that I asked to Kenneth last night, and we actually had a pretty intense argument over, which is...
Kenneth's an easy guy to do that with. But
no joke. As far as Shevchenko goes, and Lauren Murphy, Miesha Tate, what's Miesha Tate's point for coming here? Why is she coming to 125? She can't beat Shevchenko. Doesn't matter. She can't beat her. I'll say it flat out. Can't beat her.
I agree. I don't think she feels that way, though. And I think that's maybe that's a simpler answer than you were looking for, but I think she feels she could beat her. So, I think that's your answer. I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with it or it's my answer. I think that's how she feels. And her reason for doing it.
You know what? After seeing this performance, because we'll obviously get into it, Miesha Tate should have never came back to the UFC. She should have kept her position as the VP of female fighters for ONE FC. She had a great job. She could have launched her own fight organization with that experience and perhaps taking fighters from ONE and making another women's organization here in America. She had so many options to be greater than the sport. But she chose to come back. Because why? Because she thought she could be a challenger for a title? Against who?
Yeah, I do think she doesn't view Pena the same way that she views Nunez. And I'm not saying she should or shouldn't. I'm talking, once again, trying to dive inside the head of Miesha Tate here, trying to play a little armchair psychologist. I think she thinks she could beat Pena. Now,
after seeing what I saw against Murphy, there's no way in hell.
Well, and also, let's not forget about the Vieira fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, she is 0-2. She left a division that she wanted to be successful in because she knew she wouldn't be successful because she couldn't even crack the top 5. And then she gets a shot against number 3 to start. Granted, I respect her name. I respect what she's done for the sport, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I thought it was a sick matchup.
I get it. Like, I'm not hating on the matchmakers. I think it's a fair matchup. I think the fight was close, right? Well, not that close, but competitive. So,
yeah.
That in mind, that all said, I'm just wondering why Miesha Tate doesn't just hang it up and go be something greater somewhere else, because she's never going to be a champion in the UFC. It's unfortunate, but she just won't be.
I get what you're saying.
Same with Lauren Murphy.
I get what you're saying. I think, and maybe this is going to sound a little hokey or whatever, but like, so I think some of these people are fighters, man. Like that's what they fucking do. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Lauren Murphy fights the mirror every morning when she looks into it. Jesus Christ, that woman's face.
Jesus, toxic tape
Dude,
over there.
You ever seen the troll meme where it's like the sideways face, like smiling? It looks like the moon smiling.
No, the scar tissue in her.
It's so bad, dude.
It's gnarly.
So bad, dude.
It's gnarly. No, for sure, man. Now, granted, as much kind of shit as we're talking here, I have the word close in my scoring of the first 2 rounds. Like
agreed. I think the first is close on lack of activity, though.
Yeah. The
right. Second pops off and is the exact opposite. It's a lot of activity. It's still close. So I respect that these girls were competitive.
Like I gave the first round to Murphy, but it wasn't kind of like I have the word winning 50-50 positions. Like that's a pretty nuanced reason to score around. Like, there wasn't a lot going on.
Yeah, I actually put pressure and octagon control or what I'm going to score that round to Murphy on, which are secondary and tertiary scoring measures.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's fair to say. Which I think Murphy won it, but in kind of a snoozy round. You know, if you gave it to Tate, hey, whatever, you're not a crazy person. Now, round 2, I thought that was close too. Now, but it was close in like a weird way. Murphy won the vast majority of the round. At the very end of the round, you could argue that Tate swung the damage meter.
Man, I mean, we're seeing this identically. I put that's a way more fun round. I think there's an argument for both girls in the round. I said I could see 1919, but more than likely it's 2018 for Murphy. But I don't necessarily have the problem with Tate getting the second round.
Yeah, that elbow was huge. Gnarly.
Huge.
And I think that's kind of the reason why Tate has that belief in herself. I mean, she went out there and did some good things, some good work against a top-class, world-class level fighter. You know what I mean?
See, but here's my pushback is what happened to Lauren Murphy when she fought Shevchenko? She got embarrassed for 17 minutes before she got stopped.
Yes, 100%. That was not competitive at all. And yeah, you can do some MMA math there if you want. I think, yeah, I mean, and the result of this one tells us a lot. But I think going into this one, there was still
questions. And can Miesha, with 10 pounds lighter in weight against this dinosaur of a woman at number 3, 39 years old at 125 as a woman, that's not going to be great for you for much longer. Sorry, Roxanne Modafferi Murphy. She's my new Modafferi. Like I can't stand her. I just hate her.
I know. I see. I don't share that sentiment, man. I think that who she reminds me of, Lauren, and it's because they're both from Alaska, I'm sure, but she's the female Jared Cannonier.
Oh my God! You couldn't say anything worse. That's the opposite of a compliment.
That's how I'm going to phrase it.
So, yeah, you're right, because she gets to the title shot and then doesn't take risks and gets outpointed until she gets finished. Yeah, you're right. They're identical. It's weird.
That Alaskan fighting spirit. But yeah, man, so round 2, pretty competitive. We both gave it to Murphy, but that elbow was pretty goddamn dope.
I thought round 3 was very competitive as well, and I think both girls' scar tissue was really showing in round 3.
Yeah, see, round 3, the kind of cumulative damage started to really beat up. Tate was like, her face was a mess, an absolute mess. Her eye was like swole shut and bleeding at the same time. It was gnarly. I honestly was surprised that I was sweating because we both bet the over on this.
I was sweating the over going into round 3 because both girls were taking damage.
Well, I was sweating the over. I thought the doctor was going to step in.
That's what I mean.
Was a mess.
Like, the damage accumulation was fat on both girls.
I've seen fights stop for less.
Miesha Tate's orbital was definitely broken.
Bro, I've seen fights stop for less. Like,
it's like what fight? The Holloway fight where they didn't stop that for the cut on his eye. We've seen way smaller cuts stop a fight. Hell, we saw Pedro Munoz duck out of a fight. Yeah, that's
the prime example. Yeah, no, I mean, Tate was a mess. So you're right. Round 3 was competitive. Each lady had her moments. Tate fought. Tate's a dog. I mean,
I scored it to Tate. I scored round 3 to Tate. I thought that she was landing the harder shots. She was just more beat up. But in that 5-minute window, I thought she did the more damage.
You're right. Like I had a hard time. Like
the eye test made it really hard.
Yeah, I had a hard time. With it. I had a hard time with it. You may be right. I'm not even going to push back. I scored it from Murphy. It could have been all eye test and just like it was really hard to like separate those two things in a vacuum.
Well, only one judge agreed with me as far as 29-28. The other two had it 30-27 Murphy all the way through. I think that's totally fine. Now, I will say, and push back to that narrative of 2 30-27s and 29-28, I already said the first round, the second round, and the third round were all close as far as how to score them. So, if Miesha Tate had won this fight on scorecards and it had been a split for Lauren Murphy or even a split for Miesha Tate, I would say that Murphy won the fight and it was a bad outcome for her, but I couldn't say that it was like a dominant performance for Murphy, right? I still can't say that.
Let me ask you this: if Tate ekes out kind of a sketchy decision, are you still saying all the same things of like why is she doing this?
Yes, because her level is so much lower than Taila Santos and Shevchenko are currently operating at.
You're right.
That's where I have my real problem. Is not that she's fighting Lauren Murphy and having a great fight with her. It's that Lauren Murphy's not close to the two girls that matter in the weight class.
Let me ask you this like kind of hypothetical here. Because we all admit Miesha Tate's not in her prime, right?
Yeah.
How is prime Miesha Tate on the level of like a Taila Santos?
Yes, she should have come down to 25 ages ago. She shouldn't have stayed at 35. That was her mistake. She came too late to a division she could have been good in.
Okay. I think that's a fun little hypothetical, and that's one I kind of struggle to answer with myself. Because it's like, yeah, you're right. As we sit today, not at the level, but like
right.
But what I'm also saying is like when Miesha Tate was a champ, like women's MMA has evolved so much since then. You know what? That's kind of the like was prime Miesha Tate just the level of competition, the level of technique, the level of athlete fighting in women's MMA. I mean, we're talking 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years because I just like women's skateboarding in the past 5 years have like has just like tripled in like level. I mean,
I watched Yudo just slaughter and win today in SLS. Just nasty one tricks.
I haven't watched the women's. I watched the men's.
I don't want to ruin it for you. The women's was amazing. It comes down to the final trick.
That's exactly what I'm gonna watch when we're done with this. I mean, that's dope that you.
Because who's the 15-year-old Brazilian? Haisa or Raisa? Haisa, bruh.
It's so
that
funny.
Girl's amazing.
Because as an MMA fan, I like obviously know the whole Brazilian.
I know it's an H2. I said it to Eric when we were watching. I was like, I guarantee your name's Haisa, not Raisa.
It is, but like it'd be whooping the skateboarders' ass. Like these like California skateboarders, like Raisa's out here rapping.
Raisa, yeah, bro. It's like it's Haisa.
Yeah, but it's funny. I feel like only the MMA fans know how to pronounce her name. But that girl, I'm like a fan. Like I actually want to buy her board. That'd be probably the first like female who's like board I would.
She's
buy.
dope too. If Nike doesn't pick her up to try and market to South America, they're wrong because she's already a very pretty girl. Clean tricks.
I want to say that she's like flow for Nike. Like I don't think she's like officially signed, but it's like in the works because she's like Letitia Buffoni's like little homie. And
okay.
Letitia has the Nike plug. Like it's in the works. If it's not already happening, it's in the works. Yeah, she's gonna be probably the first female with her own shoe and all that. She's the shit.
She got a trick in there. I'll just say 1 out of the 6. It was like an 8-7. Landed it.
Oh yeah, no, she does tricks that like other women can't do, like other grown women. Like
dude, and her technique, like the cleanliness of the way she's hitting these tricks.
One last little point. Are you aware of her like origin story? Like how she like got on? She was like 6 years old. She was like only in like 4 stairs and 3 stairs and shit, but she was wearing like a fairy princess tutu and had like a little wand. and it like went viral. And like,
That's tight.
And I think she like in like the favelas of Brazil. She was like the little like she's
That's fucking awesome.
No, it's her story is insane. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite like humans. Like seriously, like she needs to be like on like getting bigger like platforms like on Rogan. Like, I'm telling you, her story is like she's a goat pretty much.
I think SLS is a cool platform for her to succeed in too. Like I think it's cool for all those guys, right? Like,
if you know who owns SLS, right? Or like who's the like owner of
Deerdick?
Yeah, it's Deerdick.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, yeah.
It's like skater owned. Like I love it. It reminds me of MMA in a lot of ways. Like a skater like made his own like promotion essentially.
So you already watched the men's side of it today?
I watched like the first half of the men's prelims last night, and they even call it prelims. Like it's pretty dope.
Yeah, dude. At one point, Naja hits a kickflip into a heel slide, and then heel flips off the rail.
Oh, his ability to do shit like
That's
that.
insane.
But sorry, this isn't the skate shred breakdown. We'll get the train back on the tracks here. But yeah, Lauren Murphy, big win, and then we'll just finish it up with her call out. She called for the winner of Fiorot and Andrade, which was smart from like a strategic standpoint, which we just alluded to.
Also, why I brought that up earlier.
Yeah. Andrade out, injured. In step. Chikagian, who's ranked number 1. So that's essentially a number 1's contender match. But Lauren Murphy's kind of trying to say like, Lauren Murphy's pulling an Anthony Smith. She's like, no. Like I need to be. I don't know.
If they're going to get to fight for a title, they have to fight me first to get there.
Which
and it's like, well, you don't really get to decide that, but sure.
You don't get to decide it, but like, A for effort, right? As far as like trying to steer your career, trying to promote, I don't know. I thought it was good use of the mic time. I think it like I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it could happen. But I also think that if she doesn't bring it up, it definitely doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like she shot.
Yeah, right. Can't hurt to try that shot. And also, she's not calling for Shevchenko. She's calling for another test in between. So
yeah. And hey, I mean, honestly, I think Fiora rocks her shit. But hey, Murphy Chikagian, that could be competitive for sure.
See, but here's my problem, man, is that like Fioro, Santos, Casey O'Neill, Aaron Blanchfield.
I love these young flyweights.
It's all a new wave. Like that's what I'm saying with Tate is like she missed the gap. The new generation's here.
There was a gap.
There was, and she missed it.
You're right, man. You're right. There was a gap. The first year of the breakdown era, all we did every week was talk about how dry women's flyweight was, and there was no contenders. And it was, if she would have came in like 2020, 2019, back to flyweight.
I think for Miesha Tate moving forward, there's a lot of fun fights still for her in this division where she can win and be top 5, blah 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 blah. But if she has to fight these young killers and they get their names made off hers, that's where I get like Miesha Tate. You don't need to be that girl for these other girls.
I agree. I don't want to see it, and I also feel like that's exactly the direction they're going to go. Like the case,
spot the lie. Like spot the lie. You know,
You're right, man. Hey, Fioro Chikagian. You know what? I'm selling myself on it. I'm hyped. I'm juiced.
Oh, that's a great fight.
Juiced. That's
especially with the styles of it, like Chikagian wanting to stand and bang, but also kind of being good in clinch fighting. That's a great fight.
Similar body size, like lanky.
A lot of movement with kicks to like find the distance, close the range.
I think Fioro has the power advantage though, and I
think she has the quickness in and out too. If they're going to trade in and out like sequences, I think Fioro wins those mostly as well.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, we got another sick ass fight to get you. Plenty.
I was so juiced to this, man. I love Shane Burgos so much. Like I was watching his interview with someone on like a Long Island or Staten Island radio, and the guy was like, "All right, last question. Would you rather have performance of the night or fight of the night?" Shane Burgos literally goes, "Such a fucking stupid question." Literally, first words out of his mouth, and then he goes, "Of course, I want a performance of the night." He was like, "Fight of the night's cool. I've gotten it 4 times, but you know what that means? I'm getting beat up at some point." He was like, "I'd rather just beat the guy up and get out with $50,000 and not have to earn it that way."
Yeah, man. And this is when we have to go round by round on. We do. I found the scoring very controversial. Now, I have a hot take scorecard that I don't think anybody agrees with.
Oh, my God. If you gave Jourdain round 1, you're fucking off your rocker.
Let's dive into round 1 real quick. We got Shane Burgos minus 165. The 14th ranked featherweight, fighting Charles Air Jourdain, plus 140, a hot shot prospect who I'm actually really stoked that the UFC made this matchup. Like, And I'm stoked that Shane Burgos accepted it. You know, I loved everything about it. And I'm glad, like I said, I thought Jourdain was on this level, which he proved he was, regardless of outcome.
He is. Yeah, right. That's what I will say is Jourdain is a top 15 guy at featherweight. Like, he can fight anyone 10 through 15 any day.
And that was the question we kind of wanted answered here, right? You know what I'm
saying? Plus,
saying?
it's huge for Charles Jourdain, man, because he's 27, 26. So like, he still has 5 years to grow and reach like that full physical potential mixed with his like technique potential.
And he did look tiny standing next to Burgos. Now, Burgos
is a huge featherweight.
But there's a lot of huge featherweights, though. There's a lot of like.
Yeah, it's scary. Think about Zabit. I can't believe Zabit was a featherweight.
Think about Josh Emmett's thick ass. I
mean, Volk's thick as shit. He's just short.
He's just
Holloway's
short,
huge. Holloway's actually tall and
Ortega
long
looks
as shit.
like a lightweight.
Yeah, Yair's pretty big too.
Yeah, no, all those guys are big, man.
Well, and then like it's not going to get any better when you get to like Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen's huge.
Yeah. You know what?
Cater's big.
I can't wait to talk featherweight matchmaking. We'll wait till the very end. I got to go full Mick Maynard here. I have so many opinions on like how to line up this division. I have it all figured out.
I cannot wait. Arnold Allen once again just getting so disrespected by the rankings, man. Sitting at number 6 still.
Yeah, no, I can't. Arnold Allen, the reason why I'm like chomping at the bit, he's very involved in my hot take. So like
I need to see Arnold Allen fight either Emmett or Rodriguez.
That's where I was going.
I mean, that's what has to happen. Yeah, Emmett. That's the fight. That's the fight.
Call me an asshole for saying that.
No. And I already tell you what you do is you take the winner of Ortega Rodriguez and they fight Volk next, right? And then on the same card you make Emmett fight Arnold, and essentially the winner gets the winner.
Yeah, man, I agree. I completely agree.
Put my Sean Shelby Mick Maynard cap on real fast and get that one out of the way.
And then also, I think Evloev needs to be in the mix too. He's probably a fight away.
All-star on the Monstar. No, dude, I want to see Evloev Bryce Mitchell. Because it's 9-10, and it's essentially who's going to be the grappler that gets to make his rise.
God. Yeah, you're right. No, I love that match.
There's some gas fights at 45. But talking about gas fights, we do have one right here.
This was a gas fight.
Right. So number 14, Shane Burgos, minus 165, trying to establish that he belongs still in this top 15, that he should maybe get the shot to go back into the top 10, fighting Charles Jourdain at plus 140. I didn't hate the plus 140 on Charles Jourdain, but I will say
I took it on 2 parlays, so I'm biased off the rip.
I more so liked Burgos outright, or I liked the under 2.5 because I really thought that they would get into like a war, like a scrappy war, because Jourdain does have that in him where
they did.
It's just no one went to sleep. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I knew it wasn't going to be Burgos who went to sleep. So I was like, well, if I'm betting under 2.5, I essentially have to be taking Burgos to win because you really can't finish him.
See, I thought there was a scenario where Jourdain got the sub.
Yes, and that was like my one saving grace to under 2.5 was like Burgos can get subbed in a bad choke if he gets rocked, which he can get rocked.
Yeah.
And Jourdain has crazy volume when he opens up. Like, and we saw it in round 3.
Oh, we sure fucking did. The round nobody fucking gave him. You mean that round? In the round where he opened up the craziest can of whoop ass I've maybe ever seen?
I cannot wait to get to the scoring. I can't wait. It's super important. And one judge literally was like, I guess on a bunch of Percocets when he scored the fight, because I'm gonna have to tell you about this judge's scorecard.
Well, also, this is I had to work after this. So with the exception of like a bong hit every like 5 fights, like I was stone cold sober for this, and it was like first time in a long time. Now you can sober but not unbiased, so do with that what you will. But, I feel confident with my scorecard, man. Round 1, I already know because you had talked about it already. We disagree. I'm fucking sticking my chest out. I gave it to Jourdain. You know why? Because fucking damage. That's why. Everybody wants to talk about,
See, we're going to get to a damage control debate again, which has been the most hot debate in MMA scoring. And I'm a damage guy. But you can't have your back taken into body triangle for 90 seconds and land 7 more punches in the round and me say you did that much more damage.
Yeah, but we're talking, I mean, those knees to the body and the punches to the body were insane. Now, I mean, not everybody scores body shots the same as head shots, but they were great body shots. Like Really, really, really great body shots. And then the judo throw, I guess that doesn't get counted as a takedown. I counted it as a takedown, and on my scorecard, he fucking threw Shane Burgos across the whole goddamn ring. Didn't do much.
He did, though. It was a nice throw.
It was fucking sick. And then, like, I definitely scored. It scores you points, right? And then now, like, and also just, now Burgos had the back. Like you said, 90 seconds isn't that long, though. I mean, we're talking 23% of a round. I mean,
I did write very competitive round as well. Just, like, I'm not saying that it's like, crazy to score it for Jourdain. I'm just saying that I had it for Burgos. Now, that being said,
and bro, those sub attempts weren't that close. They were like neck cranks and
no,
shit.
They weren't. Now the second round you get a lot closer.
But hold on though, like how do you outweigh? I mean, 90 seconds of control time in a neck crank outweighs like getting outstruck for 3.5.
But the strikes were 24-18. Like it wasn't that crazy in difference. And it wasn't like Burgos was landing soft punches. Like he landed the bigger punches. He just didn't land as often.
And I guess, like I said, I count the judo throw as kind of like they each got one takedown. Like, I don't know, bro. You're right.
But what did Jourdain do with it, though, you know? It's a competitive round. And
you
one judge...
what did Burgos do with it?
He got a play trying to take the back.
He fucking fumbled a fucking position is what he did.
Okay, so check this out. One judge scores that round for Jourdain, 10-9, right? Mike Bell. The other two judges score it 10-9 for Burgos. So I think we're painting the picture of a very competitive round. Can see it either way, right? Round two. I got to know how you score round two.
Yeah, round two I thought was the easiest round to score, to be honest. And I had it 10-9 Burgos. Now, and the difference is this time he had the back for like 4 minutes. And
when the neck crank was close, Jourdain pulled his hand up like he was going to tap and then attack the elbow. Like he was very close to tapping.
It was gnarly. It was Khabib Conor-esque. It
looked just like it. Now, shout out to Jourdain for having the toughness to tap to it.
100%. No, Jourdain's a dog, man. This fight was an awesome matchmaking fight.
This was literally just two pit bulls scrapping in the yard.
No, but you're right. The round two easiest round to score 10-9 Burgos. So I have it 19-19. You have it 28.
Now I want to agree with you that it's the easiest round to score. Here's where I find a problem with these judges. Two judges agree with me still. 2018. The judge that had the first round to Burgos or the first round to Jourdain gave Burgos 10-8 in the second round.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind.
That's insane.
This is where my hot take is.
How the fuck does he get a 10-8-2, but you wouldn't give a 10-8-3 to Jourdain?
Well, that's my take.
No judge gave Jourdain a 10-8 in the third, but I did.
I did. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I did too.
I have it as a draw.
Well, so I have it 29-27 to
Jourdain winning, and I have it as a draw.
We agree on the third round. Hell
yeah.
Fist bump. Yeah. Virtual fist bump. Because I thought I was about to be out here on a limb.
Oh, hell no. There's no way you uncork 90 punches on a guy in a round that he scores 20 punches on you and it's not a 10. There's no way in hell. Shane Burgos was literally getting beat around the octagon. It's just lucky for him he has the craziest chin of all time.
It was like a special meter. Like, it was like some fucking, anime shit. Just fucking...
Dude, he was just like... and then was like throw a body kick, head kick combo off the rip or off the break. I was just like, this guy's going nuts.
Like, it was Holloway-esque.
Well, Jourdain, that's what he can do, though. Like, when he gets his rhythm, he's so dangerous, man.
He dog-walked Burgo in the third.
Yeah, but if you don't let him get a rhythm, man... He is such a different guy.
But, bro, round three was not competitive. He dog-walked Burgos. He beat the dog shit out of Burgos.
Yeah.
Now, Burgos can take a pounding. Hey, also, is he going to be the first two-time Chin of the Year winner? Like, did he defend his fucking title?
Well, no, because we're about to get to Chin of the Year right after this.
You're right. But still, fucking Chin is not cracked. He also answered that question. Because part of me betting Jourdain was I thought that his legendary chin was kind of cracked after that crazy delayed knockout that we saw from him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I thought that was the kind of knockout that changes a man. I was wrong, and I'm glad to be wrong on that.
I don't even know if you're wrong. You know what else is crazy about this fight, man, is when he lost to Barboza, that KO was crazy.
Yep.
What was even weirder to me about this fight, though, man, was the significant strike numbers ended up being 115 for Charles Jourdain and 42 for Burgos.
Yeah, that's how I fucking saw it, bro.
Now, Burgos attempts. So
yeah, but none of them were that close. I mean, the neck crank.
Second round neck crank was close. The rest of them not close at all. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, seriously.
I think this fight being a draw is honestly maybe the most fair way to see it. Or you could even argue your side. Or you could. I think a draw is a really fair result to this contest.
Which nobody really wants to see a draw, but I do think like
like I said, I mean, the argument's on the table for a draw all day long, and the way the one judge got to the draw, because for anyone at home, it's a majority decision. Two judges score at 29-28 for Burgos. One judge has 28-28. I had 28-28, but the way that guy got to 28-28 makes no sense. At least the way I have it would make sense, and I can defend it.
Exactly. And I hate the 29-28 scorecard, so there's no 10-8s in there.
Right, like someone got 10-8'd. Someone fucking got 10-8'd, if not both of them to each other.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And actually, no, Burgos is 10-8. That's a weak sauce 10-8.
That's a weak 10-8. Like, that's my point is how can you give him 10-8?
Sterling 10-8.
Yeah, but how can you give him 10-8 and you don't give Charles Jourdain a 10-8? That's ridiculous to me.
That's really, really trash. And like that's why like I was going ham on Twitter after this one. I was like, number one bullshit. I tweeted that under every single like every account tweets out like result. I was number one bullshit in every thread. I was just tweeting number one bullshit. I was fucking going crazy, bro. I mean, like I said, part of it was like I did bet on Jourdain, so like that stings. That's a shitty way to like bust a parlay.
That is a shitty way to bust a parlay.
So it's a bad beat, but I also genuinely I would feel the exact same way if I have any money on it. Seriously, like I strongly disagree because like I said, like based on logic, like based on you saw like the guy gave Burgos a 10-8 and no 10. Now, if you gave them both 10-8, sure, whatever. I'm not rolling out the hill, and then it boils down to however you scored one, which was a coin flip round. Sure, but that's not how he got there. It's how he got there.
That's my problem too, man. I mean, honestly, you could say the final two rounds would be finished 18-18 in scoring if you went 10-8, 10-8 both ways. And then it's like how you score the first round. It literally comes down to that. And as we already broke down, very competitive, very close first round.
Exactly, and I'm not rolling out any hill, but
I would also say
bullshit guy, bullshit guy.
If this was ONE FC or Pride, Charles Jourdain wins the fight because he's dominating the end of the fight. Like after 10 minutes, Burgos was essentially done, and Jourdain was just getting started. If that's a 5-round fight, Jourdain wins all day long.
The level of pouring it on that took place, like
to step on the gas that hard in the third. Shout out to Charles Jourdain.
And then
like that's tough to do mentally.
For it,
I know, it's crazy, man.
I know we could go on all day, but I just had such a problem with it. Like I said, I don't hate the draw. I really don't even hate your scorecard, bro. Real talk. I thought we were going to go towards Skip and Shannon style, but like seriously, I totally see where you're coming from. I don't hate your scorecard.
I think 28-28 is a fine score for this fight. I think it tells the story of the fight, too.
Yeah, for sure, man. But also, it's like, to end in a draw, whenever Jourdain clearly beat the shit out of Burgos, like, I'll be, what do you call that? Political. I don't know. There's a better word for it. Diplomatic. I'll be diplomatic and meet you halfway there. Like, but I still like Jourdain won this fucking fight, and I'm not really backing off of it. But we'll keep it pushing because we have literally, if not fight of the year, then definitely round of the year. I'll make
round of the Beefy Boys era for sure.
I said, I'd like some hardcore out there can throw in a fight from the 90s that maybe was a better round. Definitely round of the Beefy Boys era. Let's get to it. We have Matt Schnell plus 225. What was he, the number 7 ranked flyweight, I believe, or 8?
Number 8, yeah. And then Sumo Darji at 12, minus 265. I honestly kind of had confidence in Sumo Darji here. I don't love minus 265, but I was pretty confident he would get this result.
No, exactly. I had Sumo Darji in a parlay, and it was because I liked him so much. I was going to eat it in a parlay. Sumo Darji, dangerous guy, aggressive guy. Now, and this fight does win fight of the night. I mean, we kind of alluded to it. Oh,
God. Fight of the year, perhaps, already.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Now, round 1, Schnell, this fight, each guy reversed each other. Now, Schnell reversed Sumudarji twice. Sumudarji reversed Schnell once, but that just shows you, like, right from the rip, back and forth.
The omoplata for Schnell to reverse after he got the takedown and was reversed himself, impressive. I mean,
so impressive.
Schnell looked good in round one. And now I will say that John Anik brought up the quote of Schnell said this week that he's battling his proclivity to be a wild man. Well, that ends up being what wins him the fight, but also in the same aspect, you could tell that he was wisely avoiding those interactions for the most part in round one, and I think that's why I ended up scoring it around 10-9 for him. I think he got control. I think he chose the better of the exchanges. Sumudarji's length wasn't really as much of a factor as it could have or should have been.
On the feet, it was working great. Like, on the feet, this fight
but Schnell's takedown entries... Yeah, but Schnell's level changes and takedown entries were beautiful, too.
100%. Like I said, I scored round one for Schnell as well. But, like, the stand-up, like, kickboxing sequences looked how I thought it would look, and they were favoring Sumudarji. But Schnell, credit to him, he didn't make it a kickboxing match. He made it a mixed martial arts match.
Yes, until so we both have it 10-9. All the judges have it 10-9 for Schnell. So he goes into round two with a lead, and he doesn't need to be crazy. He just needs to keep fighting the same fight. All that being said, Sumudarji cracks him 40 seconds into the round. Has him hurt, wobbles him, drops him. Schnell gets up, immediately gets the leg, right? Gets on the leg. I thought he was so hurt, I couldn't understand. I thought he was reaching for a leg, like, blindly. He gets up and has, like, the leg in his arm about to get a takedown. Sumudarji disengages and starts lighting him up. For a minute and a half, just
elbows,
my God! Whenever he was holding his wrist and then just stepping in every time, I mean, you should have seen me sitting in my chair. I was just
bro! It was John Jones-esque, right? Like, it really was.
Oh, they looked clean too. Like, you could see him framing it, stepping his hip in just slightly, and then just falling all his weight in on him.
So much torque on those elbows for sure. So I mean, I kind of lost track. I think he hurt/wobbled Schnell like 5 to 6 times, dropped him 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, dropped him twice, hurt him 5 different times.
And, like, hurt bad. Like, honestly, man, like, and like I said, once again, I'm a guy who bet Sumudarji, so of course I was screaming at my TV to stop it. But
Schnell kept firing back. I kept thinking the same thing, like, how is he still standing? But the fact that he was able to stand and fire back was the only reason the stoppage wasn't warranted.
Like, it wasn't intelligent defense; it was intelligent offense. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He was defending with his offense that was slightly unintelligible.
Yeah, no, man. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the no stoppage. Like I said, this is a guy who bet Sumudarji. Like, Schnell did enough each and every time. Now, how? Who fucking knows? Like, it was nuts.
The fact that, like, Felder was literally asking, how is this guy still standing right now? When you start hearing guys like Felder and DC be like, how is he on his feet? You got to understand someone's getting their ass beat.
DC was just, like, making noises. He was like,
yeah, he was like, oh!
Yeah, like, dude, literally, like, I was yelling at my TV. DC was making, like, moaning sounds. Like, it was wild. There was a lot going on.
So much going on, dude. Felder was just like, oh, come on. Like, you could tell Felder became a fan. Like, he stopped commentating at a point this round. It was just a fan, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good this round was.
Well, and there was only so many X's and O's to break down. I mean, it was just an incredible display of just human will and just.
Schnell, to follow it up, eats the 5 or 6 craziest step-in bows / like hooks / like left straights I've seen in so long, and then somehow lands his own left down the middle that hurts Sumudarji. Sumudarji's gassed from putting an ass whooping on Schnell for 2 minutes straight, to the point where Schnell then shoots it on a takedown, gets the takedown, immediately slides to half guard into full mount, and then he starts going to crazy work.
Yeah, dropping his own bows. He cut the fucking shit out of Sumudarji with them bows. Credit once again. Sumudarji, a dog. He gets his own reversal. He's on top of Schnell. Schnell's still throwing elbows from the bottom. Gets his own reversal again. Ends up back on top, and then that time ends up being able to pound him out. But
no. He got reversed and then locked up the reverse side leg triangle.
You're right.
And started dropping bows until Sumudarji's flattened his arms out to stop the bows coming in, and then he got choked unconscious.
You're right. You're right. Bro, like I said, I mean, I had to rewatch it. You're right, 3-4 times myself. I mean, jaw on the floor. I rewinded it, made my wife come watch it.
Yeah, I made the roommates watch it. It was crazy.
I was like, we got like this is history. Like this is like all time great like level shit.
Yeah.
And then like each time like my wife, you should have seen her like whenever Schnell was getting beat up, she was like yelling at the TV, stop it, like this is brutal. And then whenever Sumadarji was bleeding all over the place on the ground, she's like, stop it.
It was one of those fights where I'm just sitting there at the end, just like, oh. Like, I'm just exasperated by it.
A fucking cigarette after that one, bro. Like, yeah, no, insane. No, I thought it was kind of a fumbled call out, in my opinion.
Mateusz Nicolau, when you have the greatest comeback that anyone might have ever seen as far as a singular round is considered, I thought he should have called out Roybal.
Yeah, no, there was a lot. I thought he could have done a lot, but you could argue, a win over Nicolau, a win over, one of those other guys in the top. You could argue it kind of puts him in the same position, I guess. I don't know.
I guess the Roybal call-out's tough, too, because he did just lose to him May 7th, right? But first-round submission that he got caught in.
Oh, yeah.
He just got caught, though, in a guillotine.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, well, man, why don't you try to run that one back after this crazy performance where you have all this momentum? Like, if you're ever going to get a rematch and the guy's 5 and you're 7 or 8, why wouldn't you try to take that shot?
And, like, you've never had more leverage, right? Like, Matt Schnell has never been more relevant.
That's my thing is, bro, you had all this momentum. Like, everyone is going to look at the highlights of your fight. And if you have a sick call at the end, they're going to put that on the end of the highlight.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, I mean, I did like that he had a name in mind. I just didn't like the name that he had in mind. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I think he shot his shot too short.
Yeah, you're right, man. But also, he probably didn't plan on, like, when he planned the call-out, he probably didn't plan on, like, being in
I don't think he planned on getting the greatest comeback of UFC history this year.
Exactly, man. So, hey, what can you do? But, hey, I got to admit, before last night, Matt Schnell was a guy I was pretty indifferent on. Hell, I bet against him, right? After last night, like, not only am I a fan, like, I mean, the level of respect, I mean, obviously he's super hard to finish. I mean, the potential, the dauber up, dauber down level, did so much for himself. And then as far as Sumadarji goes, I'll be real, bro. Like, I'm not really, like, holding this one against him. Like, he essentially knocked out Schnell, like, 4 times and then gassed. Like, hey, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I chalk that up as, like, what can you do? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think he should lose the ranking. I'm not dauber down on him. I feel the exact same way about him. Like, that fight looked how I thought it would look, and that's why I fucking bet on Sumadarji. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with the performance at all.
I'm daubered up on both guys because they're just warriors. I mean, obviously dauber higher on Schnell, but it's like Sumadarji didn't ever quit. Didn't even tap.
No.
Went to sleep at the very end.
Yeah.
And honestly reversed the position after being in such a terrible spot. Like, literally never quit until he just literally the blood was choked out of his body.
Yeah. No, he literally went out on his shield. I mean, just such a gangster. Such a gangster. But, yeah, no, fucking dauber up for both guys. Amazing flyweight fight. I think both guys are relevant in the division. Hey, I mean, fucking amazing. Definitely, that fight's going to the Hall of Fame for sure.
For sure.
Like if Swanson Choi did, then that has to, right?
Yeah, right. Like, there's no way that, or at least that round. Like, that might be one of the greatest rounds I've ever seen. Just single round.
Yeah, round in the chamber. But that's one where, like, I don't know, like if I ever have like 4 minutes to like convince somebody to be an MMA fan, like, hey, pull out that second round.
Yeah, literally. Eric had a buddy over, and I was like, "Do you like UFC?" He was like, "I mean, whatever. When it's on, I watch it." And I was like, "Okay, we'll watch this round." Dude, even him by the end of it, he was like, "I don't know what I just watched, but I loved watching it."
Yeah, no, same thing. Like my wife's jaw was on the fucking floor. Like, yeah, no, seriously, it was amazing. But I guess we'll keep it pushing because, I mean, only so much, you don't want to beat a dead horse here. But yeah.
Also, shout out to the New York crowd. That crowd was insane in that fight.
Crowd was lit.
Like made it better, honestly, because like when Schnell rocks him and then gets on top, the crowd is berserk.
Oh yeah, which how would you not be for sure? It was cool. I followed this guy from the Beefy Boys account on Twitter. We were kind of going back and forth. He was at the fights and like he's a New York guy and he was like tweeting out videos and shit. We were like talking live about because he was there. Like so, like for example, the Burgos Jourdain fight. As a guy who was in the arena, he was like, "Oh yeah, that was Burgos all day because there's such a pro Burgos crowd."
Yeah, I mean, Hurricane Shane's from New York. He's 7-0 now in New York, and that was one of my biggest reasons I thought Burgos would win too. Was kind of a home commission kind of a deal.
Yeah, sketch, but yeah, man. Go ahead and introduce this next fight if you don't mind while I get a little risky.
Yeah, absolutely. So welterweight division, very impactful fight at the rankings again. There were so many fights in this card that are back end impactful to all these divisions, right? Like it's kind of trying to set the stage for these next rise of challengers or where we're going to go toward the end of the year and who's going to climb in the ranks, who's going to fall, who's going to freeze.
Well, the back end is where these stories begin, right? And it's
absolutely.
And the back end is guys that are active. Like you start getting these top 5 guys and they sit on their spot and they pick and choose matchups. These back end guys, I fucking love all of them. I mean, you go down to the division and almost all of my favorite fighters in each division are like 12 to 15 as far as just guys that I fucking like watching and respect. You know what I mean?
I respect a lot? Li Jingliang, because he'll fight anyone. I clearly did it against Hamzat. Clearly now did it against Salikov. Fuck his ranking. He doesn't care. I respect the hell out of that.
He had nothing to gain. And
was the underdog. I mean, the plus 135 underdog. Salikov's minus 155. Now, I will say when we talked about this fight, I like Jingliang solely for the fact that they're both Sandu champions. And I figure if they fight the same style and have their entire life before the UFC, well, I'm going to pick the guy that's just already made that ascent.
Yeah, you know what? I liked Salikov. This is another one we disagreed on. My reasons weren't so much X's and O's based. He's the younger guy. Jingliang, he's coming off the bad loss. He's like 38 years old. He's been up and down. He's been inconsistent.
He's on that Chinese acai over there, bro. Jingliang was shredded. I don't know, man. I thought I don't know. I honestly just didn't have enough respect on Jingliang's name. It's really what it came down to. It came down to me being dauber down on Jingliang more than I was dauber up on Salikov, just to be completely honest of like where I was coming from. Kind of why I love this matchup though too, right? Is like Salikov dauber up recently, Jingliang maybe dauber falling. So it's kind of this good meeting in the middle of the road sequence for both guys.
Oh, and super important to the back end of the welterweight division. I mean, the back end of the welterweight division, that may be you talk about, which I know Rachmanov's top 10, Sean Brady's top 10 now, but like these guys were just in these spots. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, as busy as I am sucking off Jingliang, Salikov actually, I think, won the first round, man. His kicks were crazy fast. Now, granted, Jingliang did a good job of keeping the distance and kind of controlling the range to limit Salikov's ability. But, man, Jingliang started throwing those low kicks. Well, Salikov got wise to it and checked that one, and you could hear the check, and that's right before he got the takedown. I think that check hurt Jingliang's leg enough to where, like, the takedown was essentially given from the damage on the leg kick.
I don't want to say Jingliang was, like, limping out of there on the way. So, yeah, I think you're right. I thought, because you're right, the spinning kicks to the body were nice. Jingliang avoided and blocked all the ones to the head, but they were landing to the body. But I thought Salikov's best work was on the ground. And I thought Salikov was making major game plan flaws. Like, part of the reason I bet Salikov was the grappling and the wrestling. And I thought he had a clear advantage there. He took Jingliang down, like, pretty easily. And then when he was down there, he did major damage. And then he kind of abandoned it. He fell in love with those spinning kicks. He turned into a kickboxing match, which honestly, going into this, if you would ask me if it was straight up kickboxing, I thought I still probably take Salikov. But that first round, I thought it was very apparent where Salikov's path to victory would be. And then he just kind of never went back to it.
You know,
if he did, it was too late.
It's so crazy to think that we do have a fight here that's like literally Sandu, their fight style is essentially like the combination of Chinese traditional ancient martial arts. Like that's what Sandu is, so like Kung Fu, Tai Chi, all those things put together. So it's a cool stylistic fight because we don't see that here in the United States like that, right? Like we don't see fighters of that nature or origin or discipline too often. So very cool to see these guys fight each other because like it was about who could do more with distance control and kicks and straight punches. Yeah. Now, to your point, if Salikov had wrestled, he probably would have won this fight.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is they both wanted to go back into Sandu because they're both Sandu fighters.
You're right, man. You're right, which I guess, is cool and all that. We respect it, whatever. As a guy who bet on Salikov, I'm a little salty about it. But, hey, what can you do? And then in round 2, man, hey, Gene Liang just started hurting Salikov like every time he would touch him. He hurt him like 3 or 4 times in a row. And then it just finally, 4 minutes and 38 seconds into round 2, it was too much. He finally put him out of there. But, it kind of looked like the first part of the Sumudarji match. Like he was just dropping it every time he touched him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that massive straight right counter, man, was what started it all for Jing Liang. Like he came with that big right counter and dropped Salikov. And, Salikov defended the takedown pretty well there, but obviously still got taken down and then, or I guess got hit with the big elbows and then was on his back, eating damage. And Jing Liang lands that other huge right that just closes the show.
Closes the show, yeah. Gets a bonus. Dan was handing out the bonuses last night, which was
Did you hear what he said about the Schnell Sumudarji fight?
No.
He was like, yeah, both those guys are getting 50 grand. He was like, in fact, Schnell might get another 50. He was like, I don't know. I'm going to cut him a personal check. He was like, probably not 50, but I'm cutting him a personal check from my account because that shit was awesome.
Dana Duffel. No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hell, so well deserved, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Jay Liang, good ass win for Jay Liang, and also Jay Liang didn't realize second most KOs in welterweight history. Welterweight record books are weird though, because
super weird, dude.
The best welterweights aren't the ones that hold the records, right? Like welterweight,
like Matt Brown is up there on the KO list.
Yeah, Matt Brown.
Magny has most minutes in the octagon. It's weird. You're right.
As far as record goes.
Until you get guys like Shavkat up there.
Yeah,
Rachmanov.
I love these new generation, man.
Well, because they fight different, man. Like the techniques they use and like the precision with like which all these like new age guys come with. It's tough for these new divisions or the old guys in the divisions.
Isn't Bilal matched up with Brady?
Yes, that happened. Yeah, that got signed. Also, Islam and Oliveira got signed October 22nd.
What? Let's go.
I'm ponding Charlie Olives.
Me too, but I'm going to be sweating like a whore in church. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's Islam.
Like, that's going to be amazing. But
hey, early odds right now, Oliveira plus 190. That's very much more respectful than I thought they'd be.
What? Yeah, I think it's already getting bet down. I'm pretty sure Islam opened at like 4-1.
And Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady opens as the minus 140 favorite over Bilal.
I think I like it.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm about as pro Bilal guy as you're going to find, and I still like the minus 140 on Brady. Because what does Bilal do, right? Well, he's not, you know what I mean? He wrestles. And Sean Brady, is amazing at wrestling.
Have you seen the Tuivasa odds? Plus 420 on Tai Tuivasa?
No, what is it?
Oh, well, it's him against Gon. Gon is minus 600 and Tuivasa's plus 420. Give me that Tuivasa. You pond it. Now, I will say there's a very interesting line out here that DraftKings is carrying as odds, and that's McGregor Chandler on December 31st. I don't know where that's at. I don't know if that's getting booked, but Chandler's the minus 155 favorite, and I love that fight.
Chandler who? Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. Chandler
Chandler McGregor. That's not signed, but there's odds out on it to happen on the New Year's Eve card next to Adesanya Pereira. That's the projection right now.
Man, I think that'd be a tough one for me to bet. Maybe I'll bet the under. I don't know. I'd probably bet the under on that one.
And then just final question here for looking forward. Cruz, Chito Vera, Dominic Cruz plus 160, Chito Vera minus 190. How you feeling there?
Oh, I'm loving the cruise money, baby.
The cruise plus money?
Going on the cruise ship.
God damn it.
Let's go.
Dude, Gustafson's plus 170 against Krylov. I love Alexander Gustafsson at plus 170.
I don't love it as much as you do. I'll be real.
I'm like Krylov. That's my problem.
Yeah, but Krylov's, I mean, I think he's been more active than Gustafsson. I think his last time out, he looked great. I think Gustafsson's last time out, did he look great? I forget. But he hasn't been active at all.
Bro, I also want to hammer Paul Craig plus 145 against Volkan Ozdemir. I want to hammer that. And hammer it by sub at plus 300.
No, I'm gonna hammer the under and the fucking Craig. I'm gonna do a two-legger.
Yeah, that's great.
What? We got to start doing more two-leggers, bro. Like single fight, like same game parlays. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like
just trying to call finishes.
Yeah, man.
It's the smartest way to do it. But all that said, we'll get back to this. Now, the only reason I took that quick break is I think the rest of this card goes down a slight touch in quality from here on out. Now, that's unfortunate because the highest ranked fighters are coming up, right? So it's unfortunate that we have to say that. And I don't think it's a fault of the main event.
I'm telling you, the fucking back-end fighters are where it's at. I love the dogs.
Man, I honestly thought that, so getting into this next one, this is the back end, but it's honestly two old girls at the back end that, like, I feel like are going to be replaced very shortly. So number 10.
It didn't feel like back end. Like maybe that's a corny thing to say. Like it kind of. I mean, I don't know, the name value, the respect on both of these ladies. Like, I don't know. It didn't for me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just a personal thing. It didn't feel like a back end. It felt like a big fight.
This one felt important as to where they go from here, but I don't think either of these girls have a shot to compete for a title.
I'm glad you said that because I've been reading, hearing all the above, a lot of Lemos dick riding.
Yeah, bounce me out of that cart.
Yeah, for sure, brother. We both feel the same way. Now we both bet Waterson in this fight, and
it's solely based on value.
Well, and like the weight cutting situation, right? Like
yes,
Lemos was
absolutely.
last to the scale, and she did look like shit. Hell, I thought she looked like shit when she was walking into the arena when they cut to her. Like
she had 6 hours less to rehydrate because this card started so early in the morning, which we talked about being a huge factor.
Yeah, no, I thought she looked like a girl that had a bad weight cut. Now Waterson, Chill actually did a good piece on Waterson today. It was pretty harsh. And we'll get to it because, I mean, there's pretty one actually, no, we can go round by round. Let's go round by round, and then I'll get to how we feel afterwards. Because honestly, round one, I gave to Waterson Gomez.
I did as well. I had 10-9. I thought the takedown probably won her the round.
The takedown, the leg kicks, the body kicks. I mean, she did
kind of a snoozy round.
But I feel like a snoozy round is like
that's what Waterson needed. Yeah, for sure.
Like if it's a banger, it's Lemos. You know what I'm saying?
Which round two does become more of a banger. That is for sure.
100%. Yeah, they start banging that out a little bit. They kind of get in a little bit of a scramble. And I got to say, bro, this guillotine by Lemos was fucking sick. Like,
it was slick. It was slick.
Like I've already seen people like making like edits and clips out of it and shit. Like, it was badass, bro. She fucking jumps Gilly, but she jumps Gilly like in the most controlled way. Like, you see people usually do it as they're being taken down, and it's usually a mistake. Like, she was leading the action. Like,
she essentially transitioned off of an attack into the guillotine, which made it so much prettier.
Exactly. And she jumped, like, they were both standing. Like, it wasn't like they were on their way down and she caught her. Like, they were both standing and she fully jumped. Like,
yeah, literally just got over the head and already had her arm snaking under to catch her hand as she got over the head. I mean, it was really slick.
It was amazing. It was really sick. And like I said, I wasn't high on Lemos coming into this one. We both bet Waterson. However, I mean, got to give credit where credit's due. Dana gave the credit, gives Lemos the bonus. I mean, it was a sick-ass guillotine. I mean, it was one of the sicker guillotines I've seen, like, this year, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, the level of her, the way she got into the guillotine was what made it so sick.
It was so awesome. It was great. It was sick on the eyes. It was awesome. Now, also kind of weird, I got to get your opinion on this. The ref didn't see Waterson's tap, and Lemos stopped the fight on her own. Now, Waterson was a good sportsman and admitted that she tapped, and there wasn't really any controversy. Hey, there's a lot of fighters who jump on Lemos and start punching her in the fucking face.
Yeah, agreed. And then the ref doesn't do shit about it because he's like, well, there wasn't a tap. Like, you're
I don't
tripping.
think they're wrong. Like, I'm saying the whole, like, as football players, we're taught play through the whistle.
Play through the whistle. And also, like, the ref is there to save you or stop the person from hurting you. You know what I'm saying? So
if I'm on a blitz and somebody's offside, but the ref doesn't see it, doesn't call it, whatever, and I get a chance to smoke the quarterback, I'm smoking the quarterback. I'm not going to be like, go like this and be like, oh, ref, you should have blown the whistle. Like, hey,
that's your fault. Like, stop me sooner.
Like, this fight could – now, granted, credit to Watterson, great sportsman, veteran of the game, all that. Like, hey, I thought Watterson blew an opportunity to fucking pull a rabbit out of the hat. I would have been a fucking asshole about it.
Didn't have that dog mentality about it.
If she fucking just jumps on it and starts fucking pounding her face, like, what does anybody – I mean –
especially at that point in the round, too. Like, we're talking about she won round one. So – hard for me to say that if she even doesn't get the finish there but wins out the round, she's up 2018.
We've seen it before with, like, Brazilian taps, fake taps in the past. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of fighters have won fights like that. So it's like the ref throws you a bone like that. No, like I said, I'm kind of sounding like an asshole here. But, like, when I was an athlete, I was kind of an asshole. Like, if you – which is – I'm getting to a point here, which is, like, how much does Watterson have left in the tank? Not in the physical way. I didn't think.
I think the mental. I don't see her having the drive or the will to really compete at that same high level.
And then bringing it back full circle, I was talking about earlier. Chael made a video just like, hey, like, and he personalized it. He talked about himself. He said at his retirement party, he stood up and told a joke. He was like, yeah, I may be retiring today, but I quit fighting 5 years ago. And if you watch the older Chael Bellator fights, you'll know exactly what he's talking about.
But when he retires, too, he's like, I would like to thank Scott Coker. Gave me a 4-fight contract. Let me fight all those fights out. Like, the reason he says it like that is because he's like, my performance level was not deserving of me fighting the rest of these fights.
He ended his career at heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Sheesh.
But what I'm getting at here is I think that's – and Chael was, like, comparing it to himself. It's like that's what he sees here from Watterson. Like, like the kicks she was throwing, even the ones that landed, like just like call it dog mentality, call it killer instinct, call it hungry drive. There's a lot of kind of ways you can spin it, but I think we're all getting at the same thing. It's not a physical thing. It's not she lost a step. It's just like, is she really in there trying to like fight, like really fight, like hurt her opponent, like get her opponent out of there? I think the answer's been no for quite some time now.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it, man. And that's why, like, when we were talking about this being a back end of the division fight, and, like, you had said, well, it kind of has the feel of not so much the back end. I think my perspective was more based on Lemos has been in here so long, and it's going to take her a lot to get to that shot at this point. And for Watterson, she's checked out.
She's checked out, literally.
So it's a hard sell for the future. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, man. I agree with you on how we feel about Lemos. But there's this weird hype around, like, I don't get the Twitter.
The Twitter fingers on Lemos are crazy.
People, but not just Twitter. I mean, you got to think about her last fight was against Andrade and what some people consider like a #1 contenders match. Like
crazy to me. That's crazy.
It's weird. Like, I agree with you, and Lemos looked like shit in that fight. Like, I agree with you, man. I'm not high on Lemos, but we seem to be in the minority.
I mean, she split decision Angela Hill. Before that, she beat Montserrat Canejo in 35 seconds on a super late replacement. So, like, I'm not even counting that. Yeah. She got subbed by Andrade in the standing triangle choke that's never been happened before.
No, it was sick.
And then was losing the fight up to the point at which she won it in this last one. So I'm not dauber up on Lemos, and she struggles to make the weight, and she's 35.
No, I agree with, like I said, I'm with you, bro. I'm lockstep. But for whatever, everybody just talks about how big and scary she is, and it's like, hey.
She can barely make the fucking weight.
Yeah, a 35-year-old woman cutting a lot of weight. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's my problem is her body is going to slow down, and if she's already barely making 116 to the point where she's having to carry out the box to weigh in naked, like, what are we talking about? Like, she doesn't have much of a future left, and she's sitting outside against, I mean, there's other girls that I think are much farther ahead of her currently, right? Like, Yan Xiaonan, Marina Rodriguez, Mackenzie Dern. Like, I think these are all girls.
In the top 5.
This is true, but I'm saying if she can't get past them at the age of 35 now, what's her opportunity in 2 years?
I think Dern Janelle got announced, if I'm
That
not
is correct.
mistaken.
That is
Fucking
correct.
sign me up. That's sick.
Now, I will say, Tisha Torres, Limosh, I don't mind that fight. You know, Nina Nunes, I don't mind that fight.
I don't, especially because Nina Nunes just had somebody pull out on her. I do.
Nina Nunes needs to fucking fight. I have not seen her fight in so goddamn long.
I think her opponent pulled out like last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, that her opponent pulled out last week, so that's not on her. Like,
well, and now she's scheduled against Cynthia Calvillo. But dude, Nina Nunes hasn't fought.
They rematched it. Calvillo pulled out.
Oh, okay. Well, but check this out. She fought before this, right? Her 2 fights before the next one she has coming up, Nina Nunes I'm talking about. She beat Claudia Gadelia in 2018. She lost to Tatiana Suarez in 2019. She took 2 years off and lost to Mackenzie Dern in 2021. She's literally about to take another 18-month gap before.
Step up though, like Mackenzie.
But why does she get rewarded? Is it because her wife is one of the best fighters ever?
It is.
That's bullshit. Pull out the spoon. UFC can eat some shit. Nina Nunes doesn't deserve to be where she is, and I'll say it.
I think there's something on that. No, didn't she have a kid though too? Like she had a kid.
Yeah, they adopted a child. Yes, correct.
No. I thought there was no. I think it was artificial insemination, bro. Like I think she actually had a kid, if I'm not mistaken.
That AI.
I think so.
Insemination.
Yeah, I think
couldn't resist.
An alien. I think so. I think she was seeded, bro.
I'm pretty sure it's called in vitro fertilization. I think it's called IVF, sir.
You mean getting abducted by aliens and getting probed? I'm totally joking. I know that's a sensitive subject for people out there. I'm totally joking. But,
I love where that went.
Adopted,
I love that we steered the cart just completely off the road there for that.
The rails. Let's go. Hourhead. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else can we say, right? I mean,
But that's what I'm saying is if I'm saying Nina Nunes is a good matchup for you as Amanda Lemos, what am I really saying? You know what I mean?
And then, where does Ducote factor in? Do you think does Ducote get Watterson?
Hell yeah, that's a fun fight too. If you're Ducote.
Yeah. If you're Ducote, yeah. And I think you can maybe even get a little no, you don't get plus money on Ducote.
No. She looked too good against Penne. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, or you do Watterson Gomez versus Penne, two vets,
fucking get Jessica Penne out of the goddamn octagon. She's 39. She lost to a debutante.
We're kind of both we're saying the same thing about Watterson, so that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's the matchup if they don't.
Lose leaves town match. I like that.
Yeah. Well, a little Lausanne action, but but hey, all right, let's keep it pushing. The reason why we're beating around the bush in this main event, but I don't think this has to be dull to talk about. I think there's actually a lot of meat on this bone.
There's a lot of ways we go with it. Now, granted, we kind of already talked about what we think should happen, but getting into this fight and why we think that not fully, because we didn't get to the end of this fight.
So we got Brian Ortega. The number 2 ranked featherweight. You could argue gave Volk his hardest fight.
For sure, agreed.
You could argue Holloway, but hey, we got minus 165 on Ortega, which I took. I have Ortega on a couple parlays, and then he's fighting Yair Rodriguez, plus 140, number 3 ranked. So we got 2 versus 3. A lot of people deem this a number 1 contenders match. Josh Emmett was trying to have something to say about that, but he's kind of in a Lauren Murphy-esque position as far as that goes. And obviously taking place in the featherweight division. I do respect how Yair, he took he used to be not known for being active, and he's been pretty active as of late. So
Yair had a mentality switch, and whenever it occurred, I'm not sure when that was exactly. I like him so much more now, man. I think since 2018 to now, he's changed the way he operates, and he's not a little kid about it anymore. I saw it, we've literally seen him grow into an adult mentality and maturity level in the octagon in front of us.
And all the respect in the world for Ortega, because this was not a quick turnaround, but it wasn't that long considering the wars he's been through, and that fight with Volk is an all timer in my opinion.
For sure, the damage he took is crazy.
Yeah, and so respect to both men, right, for agreeing to the fight, for the quick turnaround, or relatively quick turnaround by these guys' standards. And then, I don't know. I love the matchmaking. Like I talked about a little bit earlier. Like I called for this matchup. Like this was a matchup I really, really, really wanted and like dreamt about and predicted. A lot on this one. Now, 4 minutes. We just got to address the elephant in the room. 4 minutes and 11 seconds into this one, Ortega's shoulder that's already been surgically repaired once pops out of socket. I don't know, tears a labrum. I don't know exactly the injury. His shoulder's fucked. He blew out his shoulder. The fight ends due to not even a doctor stoppage. It was a full-blown TKO, but it was a verbal.
It was like he rolled back on his back and was like, I'm done. Yair didn't even hit him at that point. It was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Because Yair was kind of in a position to get an armbar, which looked pretty good, but you could tell Ortega was ready for that and was literally about to wrap his leg and try to throw in a leg lock. And as soon as he went for the leg lock, it's almost like he put his shoulder forward but had it being pulled down. So when he opened it and had it down, I think it popped out.
Well, and I think wasn't Ortega trying to get his arm out of an armbar? Like,
that's what I'm saying, yeah. Like it was like the weight of Yair on his arm popped his arm out. So it's really not fluky necessarily for the position.
And that's really the conversation here. But before we get to that main crux of that argument, because that's like that's the meat on the bone here. I want to see how you were scoring the fight up until this point. Because
I thought Yair was winning.
Me too. Ortega's trying to do this revisionist history, and he's been pretty vocal about I was winning every second of that fight. And there's a few of his fans and other people that agree with him. I thought Yair was winning.
I thought I had a 10-9 Yair at that point. Even if Ortega would have been on... Yeah, and even if Ortega had finished the round on top for the last 50 seconds, I don't think Yair was going to... I still probably would have scored Yair. He had Ortega cut already in the first round from some big shots.
Big shots, like Yair shots, which hey, right. Don't be wrong for like weighting the grade here, but I know a big shot from Yair is more than a big shot from 90% of guys.
He's landed like a 50% head kick. Like it 50% landed, 50% got blocked. But I mean, he was landing his shots. And Ortega's a dude that
there like a big elbow too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
like the Yair type shots. Like they were Yair shots.
That's what cut Ortega's forehead was the elbow.
You're right, man. Like they were Yair shots. Like what you think of, like they were.
And then he was attacking from his back on the ground. That's why Ortega's arm comes out. Like I loved what I saw from Yair.
Ortega had like some snoozy clinch, you know what I mean? He wasn't really doing much. Like, I agree, bro. I agree. Now, people disagree with this. Obviously, Ortega, I mean, kudos to him for, trying to steer the narrative. I guess that's what you got to do. But so all right, cool. We got that out of the way. We agree on that. Now,
let's talk about steering narratives real fast.
Okay.
Because I think there's a top one that I need to put out there first before we break down the rest of the division behind it, because it's the only thing that matters, right? So before we get into how we see the rest of the division playing out, you think Volk should get the shot at the winner of Islam, Charlie Olives? Because that's what he's calling for on Twitter. He didn't even give a shit about this fight once it got announced. I don't know if you noticed that. He didn't even give a shit about this fight.
That's a little revision.
I mean, he put the eyes up with UFC Long Island, I know. But I'm saying he quote tweeted.
The result, he quickly moved on. But before the fight, he was treating it as a number one contenders match. I
definitely agree with that. But I think that what he saw as soon as Charlie Olives got announced was because he retweeted it immediately and said, "I get winner."
Was that like before this fight though? Because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it was. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll have to back up then. I'll have to cool off. All right.
Because he tweeted it immediately when it got announced. I think they announced it right after Burgos.
All right, I think Volk is in the position to get what he wants. I think if that's what Volk wants, that's what he should get. Now,
and I think that should happen as well for the rest of the division and the time we need to play out these other four guys.
But also hear me out though. If Islam wins, they do the rematch, right?
Oh, I don't think so.
Because this is waiting in the wings because they have a better option. Is
that potentially, or I think the matchups, if Islam wins, and we're talking about the matchups at 155 and the money that can be made, I mean, bro, like, it's hard for me to sit here and tell you that Michael Chandler and Islam isn't a super fun fight.
Bro, fuck that. Because Michael Chandler's on a 2-fight L streak. He needs a win. Fuck
Okay,
that.
if you're Islam, why wouldn't you call it Conor McGregor and just get your money fight? And it's Khabib's little brother.
Fuck that too, because that's just all. That's a fucking clown show, is what that is. And I'm not. I'm making a stand here, because like that starts to get into clownish WWE behavior, which I know the UFC flirts with, but we can't go down like fully down that road. Like McGregor's ranked 12 and hasn't won a fight in 5 years. Like you literally can't do it, bro. Or else, like literally, I may cool off on the UFC. Now, obviously, we're gonna have our podcast, but like seriously, it'll change how I view the UFC. Like it will.
You know what the real fight at that division is Ferguson McGregor. It's 11-12. They could sell a fucking pay-per-view with just those two.
No, and I'm not saying McGregor doesn't get to cut the line, but what other guy could beat 12, beat 11, and then get a title shot? But he needs a win. Like, I'm down for the McGregor clown show, but it can't just be a complete clown. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to at least like fake legitimacy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
let me give you this in reverse. How about Michael Chandler and Conor fight on the same card as Islam and Charlie Olives, and then the winner gets the winner?
Love it. Cool.
But what's that do to Volk? To get back to the original division we're talking about here.
See, I think Volk. See, that's where this gets real fucking weird and clown.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's where it gets Volk, to be this weird show.
It shouldn't even be a conversation. Like
Volk should get that shot.
Yes, like it shouldn't even be a conversation.
He's dethroned the greatest featherweights ever in Max Holloway and Aldo.
No,
why wouldn't he get this shot?
No, you know what we could do and have our cake and eat it too. And this is a hot take, probably not going to happen. What if you do Volk McGregor, the two featherweight goats?
Fuck, that's great. That'd be great.
You could argue two featherweight goats, and then that's like. Now I still think Volk. I like Volk, but
I could see McGregor being problems for Volk stylistically. McGregor having him on the end of his jab and his cross.
Like imagine Holloway, but like as strong as Conor. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I will say, too, all that talk about Conor that I just did, I don't even know if I can make 55 anymore. He's fucking huge, and he hasn't tested USADA in a year and a half.
And I think, I mean, things are pointing to a Nate Diaz 170-pound return.
That seems like the fight.
It does. But, see, I love that fight because it eliminates the clown show talk that we're having, and it's a fun fight. It's a big fight. I think you get to have your cake and eat it too, right? But, yeah, if Conor jumps the line, and then maybe a win over Nate Diaz, maybe that is enough for a title shot, but he needs a win. All right, but let's get back to featherweight because we're all the way up to welter at this point.
Fair enough. So the way I see it playing out here, right, is I'm going to credit Yair with that win. And Ortega can go take his surgery, sit out for a year. He's going to be on the sidelines. Shoulder surgery is going to be a big deal to recover from, especially in fighting where your shoulders are important in striking, grappling, every single instance of fighting.
That's his
second time on that shoulder, and the third shoulder surgery overall.
So you're not clearly not good against Yair, which I'm with you, bro.
Well, I mean, it's not Yair's fault, and I thought he won the round, so why would it, how could I hold it against him?
And it's like he hurt a guy's arm, the same arm that he had in an arm bar. Like, to act like it's a fluke, that's like some O'Malley-level revisionist history.
Yeah, like it's not like – yeah, exactly. It's not like Ortega was trying to grab his shorts and lift him up or anything. Like he was trying to get his arm free and popped his shoulder out because Yair wouldn't give him his arm back. So how is it not Yair getting a TKO? Which he is, obviously. He was awarded the TKO. But he popped his arm out. Like, it wasn't a freak accident like Ortega's trying to spin it as.
I agree, bro. Credit to Ortega for being good with the media and having, getting his message out there.
And I saw a video where he went to Yair's family after, apologized to him, told him that's not how he ever wanted this to go down, and that he knows that it hurts the build for Yair to get his shot if he was to win. Yeah. And he said that I'd love to run it back and give him the fight that propels him there. Now, I think that's all good and well to say. I don't think Yair needs it. I think Yair gets to sit and wait.
Well, Yair...
And I hate that shit. I hate the Leon Edwards approach, but Yair is in the position he needs to do that.
You're right if you're Team Yair, but here's what I would do. I'm matchmaker. I get a magic wand. You know what I do? Unpopular take, not going to happen, but here's what I do. I do Emmett Yair.
Okay.
And I do. Oh, what do I do with Arnold? You want to know what I do with Arnold Allen? Evloev, baby.
Oh my God, you psychopath! Why would you do that?
In a fight night main event, Saruki and Gamrot style.
No way, dude. No way. I think what I do is Yair gets to sit at the top. He becomes 2 now, maybe even 1 when Max Holloway, because I think Holloway gets dropped from losing out as bad as he did. I think Yair moves to 1.
I like your idea too. I can't even lie and say I don't. I know where you're going.
Emmett fights Allen. Winner of that either fights Yair or Yair just gets his shot. Now here's where I think it gets really fun from the back up. Mitchell Evloev and the winner of that gets to have their cake and eat it too, because then they get the top 5 guy that doesn't get the shot, and essentially that's your next number one contenders matchup. And Evloev is a fucking problem for these guys. But so is Bryce Mitchell. And that's why that matchup is so much fun.
And Bryce Mitchell's been pretty active. Like Bryce Mitchell called out, I think Yair.
Not a terrible call out. Now, what I would rather see, honestly, Bryce Mitchell and Arnold Allen's a lot of fun too.
You're right. And I want to see good things happen to all 3 of those guys. I like Evloev, Arnold, and Mitchell. What
about Evloev and Korean Zombie in a fight night main event? Give him that name value so he can get that name. He's gonna wax Zombie. And we both know that.
Which is why
but give him the name. Give him the name.
Probably make some money betting it.
Give him the name value. You know what I mean? He deserves it. Who's he got? Ige? That's not giving him a whole lot.
Well, and I'm literally like kind of putting my foot in my own mouth because I spent all weekend on Twitter calling for Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett. So I that's a one I would love to see too.
I think Allen Emmett's the only thing that makes sense, man.
I'm just trying to weave my boy Evloev in here because you're right. Arnold Allen deserves more. Emmett deserves more, but I think Evloev is just as good. He's on a Ragmanov tip where he could beat a lot of these guys and I'm totally working an angle here. I'm a pro Evloev guy. Now, Evloev Mitchell's amazing. Mitchell Arnold's amazing. I want to work these guys in somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just Arnold Allen fought Sadiq Youssef to get up to 6, and he fought when he was 8, and I think Youssef was 9 or 10. So he's already fought backwards once, and then he fought Dan Hooker in his debut in the weight class and starched him and put on a highlight. And I think just based on that alone, you got to give him someone ahead of him in the rankings to fight next. I think it's unfair to make him fight backwards after 2 stellar performances.
Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett, and that could totally be a fight night main event.
Fuck yeah, or it can even be the third match on a 2-title fight card. I think they could fight right behind 2 belts.
You're right.
In that featured bout.
That would be sick. That'd be sick.
I think the big takeaway is featherweight's fun. Yeah, it's so much fun. Dope. For as deep as bantamweight is, which bantamweight, dude, just looking at it right now, it's fucking nuts. And you know what I had this conversation with Kenneth about last night? He was like, what are they going to do with Frankie Edgar? He keeps calling Frankie Yeager just to shit on him, which is hilarious. You know what they're going to do with Frankie Edgar, don't you? He's number 11.
So Frankie Edgar, I don't. Let me just interject for a second. He came out and said that his next fight is the next Madison Square Garden card. He's on it, and it's his last fight. I don't know the final piece of this puzzle of who the opponent is.
What a shit thing to say. I hate when fighters determine their end before the fight takes place.
But we get to bet against him. And
hammered down on the line against him. But what they're going to do, man, is his name is still worth a lot. And you got Umar Nurmagomedov sitting at 15. And Nurmagomedov Edgar is an easy name sell, and it propels Nurmagomedov right into the top 10 off the jump.
Yeah, I mean, hell, it worked for Cheeto Vera, right?
Right. And then you're talking about Nurmagomedov, Rob Font, crazy fun fight. Nurmagomedov, maybe Balashvili or Cheeto, maybe Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov is a fucking fun matchup.
Yeah,
he's got to earn it. He's got to get there. But I'm saying his skill set right now at bantamweight, he's with those guys. Now the other choice here is
Simone, man. I don't.
But why are you gonna make Ricky Simone do that?
I know, but I'm just saying, that's a fight.
I think Simone Munoz makes a lot of sense. Because they don't realize what they have in Ricky Simone. Like, they use him as like a crusher.
I know.
Like, they don't want him to be at the top, which is fucked. Like, he has to go through guys he shouldn't have to go through.
Like, he beat Thomas Bailey, and he's like, Thomas Bailey's like the wrestler of the division.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just shit on Ricky Simone. Like, does Cheeto Vera have way more impressive wins than Ricky Simone? Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because I discount that Edgar win a lot.
Me too. So I'm saying, like, and Cheeto Vera was losing that fight against Edgar, which is even crazier to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ricky Simone loses the fight against Edgar. I think, dude, the matchup Ricky Simone presents against most of these guys is a motherfucking problem. And I would say that Valishvili would be the guy to match him up, but he's already beaten him.
I know. Which is
and he KO'd him.
He's not getting any benefit of the doubt. All right, real quick. Let's just end on reading through the top 10 featherweight and bantamweight, if you got the time, if you're down.
Yeah. So I think featherweight we kind of covered, right? As far as like
you're right.
Holloway's 1, Ortega's 2, Yair's 3. Emmett's tied at 3, technically 4, I would say.
I hate that. I didn't know he was that high. I didn't know he was that high. I'll be real.
Yeah, Cater's 5. I think Cater at 5 is kind of silly. Like, I know he keeps winning, and I know that whatever. I don't even want to get into Cater. He's just a guy he's like literally your top 5 gatekeeper. Like, that's what he serves as.
Cater Evloev?
Cater Evloev makes a lot of sense. And Cater does not win that fight. And then I think Bryce Mitchell Giga would sell.
Ooh, that's fun.
See, there's a lot of fun shit. And that's all.
Talk a little bit.
So we've now talked about everyone in the top 10 now that I say Giga's name. Because Giga sits at 8, Mitchell's 9, Evloev's 10, Korean Zombie, who we noted earlier, is 7, and All Down sits at 6.
Okay.
The matchups in featherweight are great 1 through 10. And I think you can't go wrong. Right.
You can't go wrong.
Now, bantamweight, on the other hand, bantamweight breakdown, baby. That's what I fucking live for.
Seriously, I'm not lying.
Piotr Jan. We get a hammer down on Jan. No, but Jan's number 1.
Which O'Malley's calling for the Jan fight hard. He made a whole YouTube video about it.
The fucking hilarious when he's the Bob and he's like, yeah, so you're Peter Jan. 1, 2. 1, 2.
He also
slight head movement. 1, 2.
He tweeted at him and he was like, so Piotr, are you 5'3" or 5'4"? I'm trying to sort out my training partners.
Dude, it's funny, and he has the ability to make that call. I think right now what I do with O'Malley, I'm running the Marlon Vera matchup back. I'm running it back. I am. It's 5 versus 12. It's a pseudo 12 because I really think O'Malley's winning that fight. So it's really like a 5 versus 8, at least how I see it. Fans obviously are going to be fucking nuts about it. And if he avenges that loss, he can kind of defend the I don't have a loss argument that he always tries to run with.
You're right. I don't hate that.
Now, on the other hand, the other guys in this top 10, you got Dillashaw at number 2, who already signed up. He gets the shot, rightfully so. Can't say anything about that. Aldo at 3 is very interesting. Aldo at 3 is very interesting.
Yeah,
because I think they're doing Aldo Vera, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I have it right here. Oh, Aldo Valishvili. That's what it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's signed. That's August 20th. So
wow,
so that's 3 versus 6.
That's huge. That's huge.
Massive. Corey Sandhagen fights Song Yadong, 4 versus 10. Dominic Cruz is locked up with who'd we say earlier?
Who is it?
Oh God, we said the odds earlier because we were like, hammer the Cruz under.
You're right.
Oh, it's Cruz Cheeto. That's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, I like Cruz in that.
You know, honestly, the only guy here that's not booked, Pedro, obviously coming off his bullshit that no one's going to really want to pay to see him do shit. You got Rob Font at 7 chilling doing nothing. And Rob Font O'Malley.
Fabrant,
dude. Fabrant. And the best part about Rob Font and O'Malley is that Rob Font's last opponent was Cheeto. So you're working back again to this matchup that the UFC I know is saving for a top 5 like title style elimination fight.
Well, and bro, over the years, O'Malley came up with Fabrant. Like, he's talked about Rob Font a lot.
Right. And Fabrant, that's hilarious. But
it's so good.
Yeah, I think once again, bantamweight, the matchups they already have are gassed up. The only guy that's not booked is Jan and Rob Font. And you're not going to fight those two against each other.
No, you're not. and I don't know, and O'Malley's kind of talked shit about both of them. So I mean, I think one of them gets O'Malley.
And I think Peter Yan probably gets the shot at Dillashaw Sterling. And I think even funnier than that, actually, Peter Yan probably gets the winner of Cheetah or the winner of Volashvili Aldo. That's absolutely where that goes. Because Aldo gets the rematch, and he has to get past Yan to get the shot.
I think if Davishvili gets the win, he gets. I think he gets the title shot.
But against who?
Well, because Sterling already has talked about it. Like Sterling's already laid the groundwork that.
So if Sterling leaves, right? But if he beats Dillashaw falls back. Who's he have to fight? Who's number one? Who would be the guy that he has to fight for the belt? It'd have to be Yan and Dvalishvili.
Unless they do O'Malley Yan, and then
that'd be crazy. Peter Yan, I think, would give O'Malley a little bit of trouble too.
Oh, a lot of trouble.
I
think that line would be skewed to where you could get phenomenal value on Yan.
Yeah, on Yan. Yeah, for sure. I think it's fun, man. I think bantamweight's going to have a lot of fun stuff happening. But also, man, just to bring it back up into the circle, Ricky Simone has a win over Volashvili. Where's he at?
Yeah, no, real talk. Let's answer that question because I think
Simone Rob Font, I think, is probably what they do.
Okay, sign me up.
Because, I mean, he obviously just beat 14 and looked good doing it.
O'Malley Yan, Bob Brandt versus Simone.
Yeah, I think those are fun matchups, too, stylistically.
On the same card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The gassed up.
Press conference on a pay-per-view. They all have mics talking shit.
Oh, my God. The Yan fucking O'Malley shit talk would just be off the wheels.
But you know there
was Volashvili talking shit. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Like Strickland Adesanya style crossfire. Like,
I want to see Volashvili on the same thing as Yan because they fucking hate each other. They have like some Russian bad blood between them.
Oh, because like Russia and Georgia, what they're doing in Ukraine, but just nobody cared or talked about it. It's really wild. Like, and it really
Yan is apparently one of like Yan's apparently kind of like 2008 was the Georgian conflict. Yan is just like. Who's Fedor? Like Putin loves Yan. Like he invites him to do shit with him.
Yeah, man. He's Russian. Because a lot of the like the Dagestanis and the Chechens, they're not really Russian. Like they fought.
No, Peter Yan is like St. Petersburg Russian.
Yeah, he's Russia. Yeah, man. A lot of fun, man. And this was a fantastic episode, bro. I really fucking enjoyed it. I mean, so much to chew on. And like I said, because I'll be real. In real time, I was as bummed as everyone else. Like, fuck, this ruined the card. But given a little
in retrospect, the card was tremendous up until that last thing. And honestly, not that freakish of an accident when we really break it down and get into the meat of it.
I think I'm so glad to see you do it the same way because I'll be real. That's an idea I had to come around on in real time.
Yeah, that's not my initial reaction. Yeah, but having watched it back and understanding what it is and why it happened, I got to give Yair credit. And I thought he won the round up to that point.
It's kind of like Ortega's kind of on some Conor McGregor shit right now. It was Dr. Stoppage.
Hey, if anyone won the card though, it's Matt Schnell.
Matt
Schnell won this card.
You're right, man. You are not wrong. That was amazing. Like I might watch this back just for fun after a second. But yeah, man, fantastic episode. Episode 96. Just to reiterate, go subscribe on YouTube. Beefy Boys Breakdown. Win this Nate Diaz trading card, officially licensed. And subscribe on Beefy Boys Breakdown YouTube. Leave a comment with either your Twitter, Instagram, somewhere we can get a hold of you and get you your prize that you want. And yeah, man, episode 96. Can't wait for next week. Next week, UFC London, Blades. We didn't even touch on it. Real quick, 10 seconds.
I got Aspinall and Pimblett, and I want to parlay them together.
See, my knee-jerk reaction was loving Blades, and I just can't, talk myself into it. Like, the more
No. Aspinall at minus 130 is just gassed up.
You feel that confident?
Oh, yeah, I like him at minus 200.
I'm like coin flip city. Like I started off Blades.
There's no chance he can strike with him, and Aspinall has been a black belt in jiu-jitsu since he was 14 years old.
Yeah, but
so I really like his ability on the ground.
How many times have we seen wrestling beat jiu-jitsu, and Blades is the best wrestler in the division?
Yeah, but how many times have we seen Blades get fucking knocked out?
Yeah, but Aspinall is not really like a big blast knockout guy. Like he's like a piece you up boxer guy. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like Blades having fought. I mean, he got KO'd by Lewis, obviously, and then beat who? Rosenstruik and Dawkins? Like, I think the Aspinall problem is way harder to solve.
The level, that's a big level. You're right, man.
And then I look Patty Pimblett at -260 against Jordan Levitt. I'm not leaving that on the table. Give me that one too. Give me Potty.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna ride with you because I don't feel. I'll be real.
And they're in the O2.
I don't feel strongly about either of those.
But they're both at home.
Yeah, I know.
Like fucking Curtis Blades is going to travel 7 hours overseas and fight during the day.
You remember when Derek Lewis fought at home? It's like it's not always a good thing. You know, people are asking you for tickets, the pressure.
But it's already happened once for both Pimblett and Aspinall. Like they headlined the last O2 card. So they're literally getting to run it back. Like I love the history of it all.
Okay, bro. You sold me. I'll take it. I'll take the Toyota Corolla. But, yeah, man.
Aspinall right, to get a finish, too. I mean, that one, I think, under 3.5 rounds is safe.
All right, bro. I'll ride with you.
Now, Pimblett, I don't know. That one could be a weird, snoozy one where Levitt just tries to grapple him the whole match. And Pimblett engages in the grappling. He's really good. But, yeah, man, I think that about wraps it up. We'll obviously get into it this week whenever we place these bets. But I love the Englishman in this card.
All right, man. Sounds good, brother. Episode 96, bro. Thanks for your time, man. Thanks for everybody that watched. Take it easy at Beefy Nation, and we'll see you next week.